What's up, it's Jan, back at it again with another nerdy bookish video. This is gonna be my 24 for 2024.
This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song.
Alright y'all, I've decided I'm gonna put the ultimatum on myself of I have to read these books, all 24 of them, or else I have to unhaul the ones I don't get to. I think that's enough motivation for me. Oh, I'm gonna be so sad if I lose any of these books because I'm so excited for all of them. I think I can do it. I'm looking at the list. Backstory. This is my 6th draft of this list, okay? 6th, but I finally finalized it. Even then, I should have made a whole nother 7th draft because I have a lot of crossing out. The highlights are the ones that aren't out yet, / I don't have physically yet. I have accepted failure for my 2023 list. I think I have 6 left on there or something like that. It was definitely less than 10, so you know what? I'm just accepting it. I'm gonna try to read a couple more before the end of the year, but my mind is on 2024 at this point. It's currently December 16th as I'm filming this, so I just don't want to stress about it anymore. I'll work on my other reading goals for the year. But anyway, obviously it's gonna be a list of 24 books that I must read in 2024. Otherwise I'll unhaul them, apparently. Now I'm debating whether I should switch some out, but I think I'm just committing. I'm just committing. Fuck it, I'm committing. All right, so I guess we'll just get started. There's not really any particular order. I have the ones that I own on the floor in front of me, and then I'll talk about the ones that aren't out yet, and I'll use Goodreads as my lovely little assistant as always for the synopsis. Number 1, I had to put a classic on there. I don't think I'm gonna do my read 5 classics in a year goal that I had this year. I think I'm just gonna go with the flow because I still do have my scratch off poster with the 100 must reads and most of them are classics. So if I want to do like a vlog around that or something, then sure. But the one classic that I definitely want to get to next year is Jane Eyre. This is another edition that I bought in hopes that it'll motivate me to finally pick this up. I have another edition that is also a special edition. It's some like anniversary one that I got from Goodwill like years ago, but I really wanted this one. This is the Penguin Classics Deluxe Edition. I also have Dracula and Wuthering Heights in this edition, so I needed this. Y'all know what Jane Eyre is about, probably more than I do. A lot of you have probably read this already. I've read retellings of Jane Eyre, so I know the gist, but I don't know what's a spoiler and what's not, or if people are even accepting of classics spoilers at this point in life. I'm just gonna move on just in case. The next one, I have The Poppy War by R.F. Kong on this list. I have read Babel and Yellowface by this author, and I have to tackle this trilogy now. This is the only one I own, but obviously I'm gonna purchase the rest as I go. I have been putting this off because I am not a war political type of fantasy reader. Like those parts go way over my head a lot of the times. War is in the title, so this has been intimidating to me to say the least. I got this copy from Half Price Books at least 2 years ago, so I've had it for a while, but I tackled Babel, so I think I'm ready. R.F. Kong is such a talented writer and she started so young. It's just mind-blowing to me, and I heard this is gonna break my heart, shatter it to pieces, maybe put it back together, but probably not. People have told me that I'm gonna really like the parts in the beginning when she's still at the school, but people are unsure if I'm gonna like the rest of it. So we're gonna try our darndest though. I mean, now that I've established that I'm an R.F. Kong fan, then maybe I'm in the best mindset that I could be for this book, if that makes sense. Again, this is super backlisted, so y'all probably know what this is about. It says she is a peasant, she is a student, she is a soldier, she is a goddess. I'm not gonna read the whole synopsis. I got it from Half Price Books, like I said, and it's signed to someone named Kelsey, I'm assuming. Someone who's not me, but it says enjoy the trip, and then she signed it. The next one I have on here is King of Sloth by Anna Huang. I actually just finished King of Greed, which is the 3rd book in the Kings of Sin series. I've given all 3 books in the series 5 stars. I have high hopes for this one, despite me knowing that the main male character has the same name as my ex. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. For Anna Huang, I'll make the exception. April 30th is when this one comes out. He'd never wanted anyone enough to chase them until he met her. Charming, easygoing, and rich beyond belief, he has the world at his fingertips. He also has no interest in taking over his family's empire. That hasn't stopped women from throwing themselves at him, unless the woman in question is his publicist. Nothing brings him more joy than riling her up, but when a tragedy forces them closer than ever, he must grapple with the uncertainty of his future and the realization that the only person immune to his charms is the only one he truly wants. I don't know what to call that. Wait, isn't it like will never love or something like that? Or sworn off love? That's the trope, right? I don't know. Hopefully I cry. this one again because I've cried reading all 3 books so far, I believe. Next book is actually per Joey's request. This is his copy of Old Country by Matt Query and Harrison Query. I think this is in Joey's like top 3 books of the year, and he said I would probably really like it. It's like genuinely creepy. So it says, the ranch was our dream home, nestled in the arms of a valley, perfect until the only neighbors for miles delivered us a dire warning. The valley is cursed. Every season a spirit will manifest itself in increasingly disturbing ways, starting with an eerie light in the pond, and will kill you if you don't light a fire. We made them leave then, put it to the back of our minds, and went about living our new, nearly perfect lives. Then spring came, and so did the light. Dun, dun, dun. Joey's been pushing me to read this for months now, so I said I'll put it on this list. I'm definitely gonna read this. Obviously, I'm not gonna unhaul a book that's not mine. The next one I actually just got in the mail like an hour ago because I bought it from Pango. Okay, listen. This is the most, I guess, doubtful one, but I also won't be mad if I had to unhaul it, DNF it, whatever. I'm just gonna look at it. 800 something. This would be the longest book I read. Like, I'm reading House of Earth and Blood, currently reading it. That would be the longest for now, which is 799 pages, but this is like 846 or something like that. So you might ask, Jan, have you read Priory of the Orange Tree yet? No, but listen, my logic is that I have never read a book where I'm like, wow, I wish I can read the prequel now that I finished this book. Like, I don't like the thought of like going backwards. Like, I tried it for a bunch of books, but the most recent one is Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldry. Like, I read Legends and Lattes last year and then Bookshops and Bone Dust as an arc this year, and I didn't enjoy it that way. I've never like craved a backstory that badly where I would read a prequel after, you know? So I figured I'd read the prequel first. Maybe it'll like establish the world for me. And I heard it can go either way. You can read either one. And I think this could be a standalone as well, but it obviously leads to the world of Priory. I do own Priory in paperback thanks to Christina from Christina's Chapters. But I got this from Pango for like $15, and then I had Pango bucks, so it was like $9. And it retails for like 35. Yeah, 35. So I figured it was time. I was gonna wait for the paperback because I think it comes out in January, and I probably should have waited for the paperback, but it definitely would have been $9 if I waited. We'll just apologize to my arthritis now because she's gonna cry when I read this. I'm assuming there's dragons in this one. I heard Priory doesn't have as many dragons as people wanted it to, so that was disappointing for them. The cover's really cool though, look at that. Those dragons look badass. Next, I have A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Fazal, I think is how you say their name. This one's the first in a series, the Blood and Tea series. Just look at that cover. Stunning. Yeah, Hafsa Fazal, the author of We Hunt the Flame and We Free the Stars. What got me with this one, first of all, the cover, but also vampires. It's about an orphan girl and her crew who get tangled in a heist with vampires. Perfect for fans of Six of Crows. So there's your pitch. And this one comes out February 20th. Wow, I didn't realize it was that close. I don't have to wait too long. Exciting. I just love that cover so freaking much. Whoever chose this color palette, give them a raise. And then there's blood in the cup. Shut up.
Shut up!
I love it even more now. As you can probably tell, I've tried to put as many BIPOC authors as I could. Like, I was pretty intentional with this list, okay? So I want to read diversely always. Obviously not changing that next year, so. And then this one comes out next year. I'm not quite sure when. A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. So this is a cozy witchy book by the author of The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which I gave 5 stars, surprisingly, because it has some tropes I didn't like. Oh my god, this doesn't come out till September 10th? Fuck my life. I'm so dumb. Okay, well, I guess I'm waiting a whole damn year for this. It says it's about a witch who has a second chance to get her magical powers and her life back on track. She's one of the most powerful witches in Britain. She resurrected her great aunt from the dead, lost most of her magic, befriended a semi-villainous talking fox, and was exiled from her magical guild. Now she helps Aunt Jasmine run an inn. It sounds so fun with the talking fox, and then there's also a skeleton chicken on that cover. I'm sure there's gonna be a romance, because who's that blonde boy? Who is that? Oh, running an inn, reclaiming lost magic, and trying not to fall in love is a lot for anyone. But Sarah is about to discover that she doesn't want to do it alone, and that the weird, wonderful family she's made. Oh, it's a found family trope again? Blonde boy is Luke Larson, a gorgeous and icy historian who might be the only person who can help her unlock the book's mysteries. He also happens to be her one-night stand from years ago. juicy. Who do I have to contact to get an arc of this book? How am I gonna wait till September? There's no way. It just sounds so cozy, like the inn. Reminds me of the Dragonfly Inn from Gilmore Girls. So excited. The Paleontologist by Luc Dumas. So this is the author of A History of Fear, which I read last month in November. It was my best book of the month and it's going on my best of the year. So spoiler for that. This is his newest book. Look at that cover. Dinosaurs, bitch! It says The Paleontologist's Night at the Museum as reimagined by Michael Crichton and Stephen King. It says there's a boy who was abducted from the museum under this curator's under his watch, and the guilt has haunted Simon ever since. He feels drawn back to the place where Morgan was taken. He gets there. The Hawthorne is a crumbling ruin, still closed amid the ongoing pandemic and plummeting toward financial catastrophe. And then he sees and hears things like strange animal sounds, bloody footprints, a prehistoric killer looming in the shadows of the museum. That sounds so riveting. Plus, there are illustrations in here. Like, look at that. Illustrations of dinosaurs. There are very few dinosaur books nowadays, so I'm really excited for this one. And the chapters are fairly short. But yes, I loved A History of Fear and I need more people to read it. I hope his sophomore novel doesn't disappoint, because if this is also 5 stars, then he might be one of my new favorite authors. No one's surprised. I have a Rebecca Ross book on here. I actually started A River Enchanted a little after I read Divine Rivals, so back in the summer. I got to page 14 and then I stopped because who fucking knows. So this is a duology. I also have A Fire Endless already.
Don't ask questions.
It read more of like a storytelling type of book, if that makes sense. Like, not quite fairy tale-esque, but I don't know. Like, there's clearly gonna be an adventure. It starts with a letter and an ominous journey across dark waters. The fact that this revolves around water and I have it on this list just tells you how much I love Rebecca Ross and her writing. Enchantments run deep on cadence. Gossip is carried by wind. Plaid shawls can be as strong as armor. Like, even the synopsis alone is beautiful. Girls are going missing from the island, and Eyre, future leader of the clan, believes Jack is the only one who can find them. Once childhood enemies, now unwilling partners, Jack and Eyre must put aside their past rivalry to entice the spirits to return the girls. Again, not gonna read the whole synopsis, but that sounds fun. I did like the writing in those first 14 pages. I don't know why I stopped. But really hoping to get to this one. Y'all know how much I love Divine Rivals, and Ruthless Vows comes out this year, so I figured I'd push this onto next year. The next one I have is The God of Endings by Jacqueline Holland. So I bought this, I think, in like September. It was like a buy one, get one half off sale at Barnes & Noble. And my coworker, my office mate, read this, and she was like, you're gonna love this. It's a unique take on vampires. And I was like, all right, sold. I've been seeing this cover and I was like, okay, not really enticing, but then I looked at it closer and it kind of gives the same vibes as A Certain Hunger, so I was like, let's do it. And I had no idea it focused on vampires, but it's also historical fiction, so I wasn't really in the mood for that. Every time I like thought about picking this up, I got excited for it, and then I thought about the fact that it takes place in 1984. Our main character is a lonely artist who heads an elite fine arts school for children in upstate New York. Her youthful beauty masks the dark truth of her life. She endured centuries of turmoil and heartache in the wake of her grandfather's long ago decision to make her immortal like himself. Now in 1984, she finds her life upended by the arrival of a gifted child from a troubled home, the return of a stalking presence from her past, and her own mysteriously growing hunger for blood. God of Endings serves as a larger exploration of the human condition in all its complexity, asking us the most fundamental question: is life in this world a gift or a curse? Just sounds like the type of writing that I'm gonna just like want to absorb and annotate and just write all over. So I'm so stoked for this. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it because it is pretty long, but it's a debut, it's historical fiction, and it's vampires. And I've been staring at it for months now, so it's about time. But next we have Animal by Lisa Taddeo. I got this book from the table at Barnes & Noble that said, we respect women's rights, but also women's wrongs. Just by that, you know, this is gonna be like an unhinged woman type of book. And then I read, I Am Depraved, I Hope You Like Me. And I was like, sold, buying it right now. This is another one that takes place in New York City, but our main character flees the city in search of Alice, who's the only person alive who can help her make sense of her past, because she has spent a lifetime enduring the cruelties of men, but when one of them commits a shocking act of violence in front of her, and that's when she does that. secrets, and then she unravels a horrific event she witnessed as a child that's been haunting her all her life. Animal is a depiction of female rage at its rawest and a visceral exploration of the fallout from a male-dominated society. So this is actually going to be a full moon book club pick for February, and yeah, I guess I can spoil it now. I mean, I haven't announced January's yet, but this is going to be February's, and my guest host is going to be Sash from Sash Reads. She's all the way from Australia, and I freaking love her, so I'm gonna have her on Full Moon Book Club for February. She's one of my vamps as well over on Patreon, and Patreon also knows what the January book is and who the guest host is, but I'll have that announcement after the December live show. I guess this is a good time for me to pitch The Lair, which is my Patreon. We're vampire themed. It's always linked down below. We have a bunch of perks obviously for each tier, but we have movie nights, we have exclusive videos, buddy reads, monthly readathons, videos with Joey, lifestyle things in some of the tiers, journaling content sometimes, photo dump. The Discord is always active every single day. We say good morning every single day. I freaking love it. It makes my day. I'm always on there talking to everyone. So I'm sure there's more that I'm forgetting, but that's all through the link down below. But yes, this is a literary thriller. I'm so stoked about it. I bought it thinking I would read it right away, but I was like, of course, pushing it off. So I'm putting it on this list. So it's double the requirement. All right, next I already talked about Jane Eyre. All right, the next one is another one I started like last year. Silver Under Nightfall by Rin Chapeko. First of all, thank you to Jayla for making it happen that I got this book early. Was it early or as soon as it released? But she also kindly sent me a finished copy, thinking I would read it immediately, but alas, here we are. So I actually started tabbing it. I think I made it like 26 pages in or something like that. So this is another vampire one. Rin Chapeko, I've read The Sacrifice from, and it was all right, but I have a ton of their books, and this is one of them. The sequel also comes out in 2024. That'd be nice to not have to wait too long once I get to this. But I know a lot of my vamps on Patreon love this book. My friends who've read this love this book. So I'm excited to fully dive in. I might actually start over because I remembered nothing, and I usually don't do that, but 26 pages, whatever. And for vampire books, I will. Filipino authors, I also will. But yeah, so I love this cover. Oh, I picked this up initially because not only is it vampires, but it's Castlevania. It's pitched as Castlevania meets, was it? I can't remember what it was pitched as. But basically it said like for fans of Castlevania, which is the only anime I've ever watched. I was like, I'm sold. That in book form, I'm ready. But it says Remy Pendergast is the only son of the Duke of Valenbon, an elite bounty hunter of rogue vampires, and an outcast among his fellow reapers. His mother was a subject of gossip even before she eloped with a vampire, giving rise to the rumors that Remy is half vampire himself. Though the kingdom of Eloria barely tolerates him, Remy's father has been shaping him into a weapon to fight for the kingdom at any cost. Remy must decide where his loyalties lie. I love books with characters that have to make big decisions and like choose sides. I don't know why I like that, but hopefully I love it as much as my friends do. The next one, so exciting. I just got an arc for from Tor Nightfire. This one comes out in March. Diavola, I hope that's how you say it. It's by Jennifer Marie Thorne, who wrote Loot, which I do own, and I heard that one's like culty vibes, so I do want to read that as well. But this one comes out March 26th, so thank you so much, Tor, for this arc. I was so excited. I also have the NetGalley arc, so if I want to switch between the physical and the digital, it's a time. The cover sold me instantly, but it's like a vacation type of horror. I'm just gonna read the last part. It says, Jennifer Thorne skewers all too familiar family dynamics in the sly, wickedly funny vacation gothic. Beautifully unhinged and deeply satisfying, Diavola is a sharp twist on the classic haunted house story, exploring loneliness, belonging, and the seemingly inescapable bonds of family mythology. And then it says, warning, may invoke feelings of irritation, dread, and despair that come with large family gatherings. And I was like, wow, this is gonna be quite triggering if that's the case. So honestly, kind of stoked. Ooh, I love when books have chapters that have actual titles and not just numbers. It just makes it more fun for me. This one's called Girls' Night. I'm excited for this. It's set on a villa in tiny Monteperso. Monteperso? I don't even know where that is. Does anyone know where that is? That's exciting. I hope it's like the villa, but make it more gothic, not in the summer, and like more unhinged characters. I'm excited for that one. The next one, I got it from Amazon because I needed free shipping for something. I think it was a Christmas present for Joey. Natural Beauty by Ling Ling Huang. This is supposed to be another like unhinged horror. This actually made it onto Goodreads Best Horror of 2023. I know Jessie really loved this book and they said I would love it too. I watched Kayla's vlog on it and she said that there were parts where like this girl's eyelashes grew so rapidly that she could like hear them growing, and I was like absolutely sold. I feel like it's gonna be that exact type of weird horror that I love, like bunny vibes, boy parts, a certain hunger, like just that weird shit, you know? I feel like I'm gonna eat this up. And it's by an Asian author, so love it. Oh my god, gorgeous. It might be the same themes of Rouge, where it like focuses on beauty and the beauty industry and like staying youthful. Maybe it's culty. I don't know. I'm just making shit up at this point. Did I really read the synopsis? Not really. It says, sly, surprising, and razor sharp, natural beauty follows a young musician into an elite, beauty-obsessed world where perfection comes at a staggering cost. What's that cost? I don't know. Can't wait to find out. Okay. All's Well by Mona Awad. This is an ARC. I think Jessie gifted it to me. Speaking of bunny, yeah, Mona Awad. You know why I keep putting off this book? Because Shakespeare references. But I should have read this book already because I heard it has really good chronic pain rep, and like, hello? I could relate. Miranda Fitch's life is a waking nightmare. The accident that ended her burgeoning acting career left her with excruciating chronic back pain, a failed marriage, and a deepening dependence on painkillers. All the Shakespeare stuff. That's also the reason why I've been putting off If We Were Villains, and I almost put that book on here as well, but I think I can just get myself to read that without a list. This needs to happen very soon. I heard it's slow moving, but I mean, it's short, so I'll get through it. She said hopefully. The next one I said I would start I think in November, and I never did. When did I buy this? Was this October or beginning of November that I bought it? But I got it from Half Price Books. Curious Tides by Pascal Lassalle. Based on just this cover, I was so shocked that this is dark academia. I just love the moon phases. So I am fascinated by this book and I'm intrigued, and I hope it lives up to the hype that I brought onto myself for it. There's a prestigious college for lunar magics, so it's like fantasy dark academia, and obviously the moon's involved. And then I think someone drowned Baz, a boy already well versed in the deadly nature of darker magic. His sister happened to be one of the drowned students and Emery's best friend. The Dovermere Sea Caves kills a group of her classmates and leaves her as the only survivor. When her new magic captures the society's attention, she finds herself drawn into their world of privilege and power, all while wondering if the truth she's searching for might lead her right back to Dovermere, to face the fate she was never meant to escape. I don't even know what any of this means, but it just sounds so good. And then there's like different houses. There's house full moon, house waxing moon, house waning moon. I feel like that's like 9th house vibes, so I'm stoked. It says there are tides that drown and tides. I've read this in a vlog already. I just got deja vu. Tides that drown and tides that bind, tides with voices not all kind, moon-kissed tides with pitch black eyes, and those that dance neath stranger skies. Again, no idea what any of this means. Oh, fuck, everything's falling. All right, the next one, speaking of 9th house, Leigh Bardugo has a new book next year called The Familiar, and the cover is just so gothic and I freaking love it. I don't even know what this is about. I've read the synopsis so many times. It's a historical fantasy set during the Spanish Golden Age. I don't know if I'm gonna be interested in this time period, but we'll see. There's magic involved. A scheming mistress discovers a lump of a servant cowering in the kitchen, actually hiding a talent for little miracles. She demands Lucia use those gifts to better the family's social position. There's someone who's immortal with a bunch of secrets, holy men, alchemists, seers. The line between magic, science, and fraud is never certain. There's a lot going on. I kind of want to go into it blindly because it's Leigh Bardugo and I probably won't understand the synopsis anyway. I just love the cover so much, and I know the first editions at least have black sprayed edges and I need it. I need it. Next I have Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas, who is the author of The Hacienda, which I gave 5 stars to this year. I heard the vampires in this aren't your typical vampires. It's more of like almost metaphorical, I think, but I heard the romance in this is really good, and I love the romance in The Hacienda and how subtle it is, and I know it's supposed to be more prominent in this one, but they're not connected whatsoever. And this takes place during 1840s Mexico. It's a supernatural western, and I don't think I've ever read a western. I still don't know, to be honest, but I just know I love this author's writing, love The Hacienda, love the gothic vibe. I don't know, we'll see if I love this romance as much as her debut novel. Then we have This Woven Kingdom by Tahira Mafi. I just love how this paperback feels. I also have been eyeing this this book forever. Like I bought this from Half Price Books, I don't even know, the beginning of the year. I heard that it's almost like Children of Blood and Bone. At least that's what it sounded like to me, and I loved that book. So I'm excited to try this out. Apparently there's forbidden romance and it's Persian mythology inspired. Ooh. It says, in a luxurious saffron-scented world where devils whisper unwelcome prophecies and princes fall in love with ice-eyed jinn. I'm intrigued. It's a story of clashing empires, forbidden romance, and a long-forgotten queen who must claw her way through darkness to reclaim her throne, rebuild her kingdom, and save her people from the half-lives they've been forced to live. Sounds great. This is another arc I got from Tor. So excited for this one. Another Gothic vibes book. Projections by S.E. Porter. I had no intention of adding this to my list, but it's here because it sounds so good. So our main character's name is Catherine, pays the ultimate price when she rejects fledgling sorcerer Gus Farrow, but death isn't enough to free her. Her ghost remains stuck to her obsessed murderer, even as he turns his attention to girls who remind him of her. As Gus uses his magic to kill again and again, Catherine knows she must find a way to stop him and release her own trapped spirit in the process. She may have lost her voice, her body, her dreams, and her life, but she hasn't lost her power. It's this author's adult debut, and it's a haunting, dark historical fantasy exploring misogyny and the soul-corrupting power of unrequited love through an enchanted lens of violence and revenge. Need I say more? Like, come fucking on. Also, this cover, it's a face out on my shelf. Better believe it. The next one is What Feasts at Night by T. Kingfisher, and this one comes out, I believe, February 13th. If I am spot on, I will put a crown on my head. Oh, I didn't even put it as want to read on Goodreads. February 13th. I'm amazing. But this is a Gothic novella. It's the sequel to What Moves the Dead, which I love. It's my favorite T. Kingfisher book thus far. It's what sparked my love for T. Kingfisher in general. Oh, I just love it. I need it. I need it. But this is gonna take me no time at all. I'll probably read it as soon as I buy it. If I don't get an ARC, or a finished copy, that'd be awesome too. So What Moves the Dead was a reimagining, or like kind of like a continuation of The Fall of the House of Usher, which is a great show on Netflix, by the way. Also, I recommend reading the source material to fully like enhance, I guess, your intrigue when you read What Moves the Dead. And this just follows the same characters, but I think they're just on like a different adventure. It looks like there's a breath-stealing monster and a bunch of superstitions. Ooh, creepy forest. It's 160 pages. I'm so excited for this one. All right, we're almost done, y'all. We've got Mary by Nat Cassidy. I also have Nestlings by Nat Cassidy that I have to read. Maybe I'll do a little vlog moment. I always say that. Am I gonna do it? Who knows? But this I should have read a long time ago. I don't get genuinely scared of too many books, but this book, the only reason I've been putting it off is because I'm like terrified of it. I think I'm genuinely gonna get scared to be home alone reading this book, or like just being in the bathroom. I know this has like creepy bathroom scenes, and I also heard there are parts where people are getting watched while they sleep. Like, that's fucking scary. And there's bug horror and all these gross scenes in this. I'm excited, but I'm terrified. This is basically Carrie going through menopause. It says it blends Midsummer with elements of American Psycho and a pinch of I'll Be Gone in the Dark. So this is a debut, and I know Jordaline loves this book with like her entire soul, heart, spirit, mind, body. I just want to be in the know. I watched Jordaline's live show with Nat Cassidy, at least before the spoilers for Nestlings, and he just seems like such a cool dude. Super chill, super fun to talk to, and I'm excited to see what his writing has to offer. And then we have another failed goal of the year, Bonesmith by Nikki Pau Preto, the author of Crown of Feathers, which I do own. I say failed goal because this is a Fairy Loot box book, and I said I would read every Fairy Loot book I get as they come, and this was the first time I failed because it scared me. But like, look how pretty. I'm so excited to read about this badass main character, and I heard it's like Throne of Glass, but like with ghosts. And oh my god, the main character's name is Ren. I love characters named Ren. I don't know why. It started from Girls of Paper and Fire. It says Gideon the Ninth meets the Game of Thrones, a dark young adult fantasy about a disgraced ghost-fighting warrior who must journey into a haunted wasteland to rescue a kidnapped prince. Sounds like an adventure. I have a couple friends who told me that I would love this book, so I'm ready. I'm ready to love this book. Oh, is this the last one? All right, number 24, Sirens Muses by Antonia Angress. I have had had this book for at least 2 years now, or whenever it came out. The year it came out, 2022. Okay, so I couldn't have had it for 2 years now. But I apparently bought this like last year. It's about artsy new adults, I believe. It's set in 2011. There's this college of art, and our main character is Louisa, thoughtful, observant 19-year-old when she transfers to Rin as a scholarship student, but she soon finds herself adrift in an environment that prizes novelty over beauty. So she meets all these people, an intense, sensual, and artistic relationship with this girl named Karina, my manager's name. The fates of all 4 artists are upended as each is unexpectedly thrust into the cutthroat New York art world. All must struggle to find new identities in art and society and among each other. It overturns notions of class, money, art, youth, and a generation's fight to own their future. So it's literary fiction, another one set in New York. There's so many on this list. I just love this cover so much, and I don't know why I haven't even started this book. I have a feeling I'm gonna love it. It's at least gonna be 4 stars. Again, it seems like another book that's gonna have good writing that I'm gonna want to annotate the shit out of. I'm glad I put it on this list, and I hope I don't have to unhaul it. Those are all 24 books. I feel like I've been talking for fucking hours. Let me know if you're interested in any of these books as well. What's on your must-reads list for 2024? If you made it to the end of this video, put the crossing fingers emoji in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a vampy day. Don't forget to do some self-care, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!